Sci-Fi Dude number 1, also known as Sports Dude 360, back with you here at Six Flags Over Texas. We're entering the front gate and about to go through security. It's a fairly crowded day here on Easter Sunday weekend, and so we can expect large crowds today. I'm here to use my dining pass and get some more updates on some of the progress they're making around the park. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we are now approaching what was Yosemite Sam and the Gold River Adventure. We see there's a lot of deconstruction going on. We have heard that this ride may be removed in its entirety, and it looks, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like that may well happen because they've removed pretty much all of the theming from the ride. And the name is gone from the entranceway there. There's no longer any name on the ride. And if you look down here, you can see we're making way for some new improvements at the park. Stay tuned. But what we're hearing on Screamscape and some other media outlets is that this ride is going to be removed in its entirety. It used to be Yosemite Sam Gold River Adventure, but the flood last year pretty much wiped this ride out. We had a flood. We had 8 feet of floodwaters in the park, and those floodwaters were right in this neck of the woods, on both sides of the park. This area here was under 8 feet of floodwater, and the floodwater caused tremendous damage to the ride itself. This is a dark ride, and the floodwaters were so high in there that the boats apparently broke loose from or rose above the trough area, and in so doing they collided with some of the scenery, which was also damaged with the water, and in so doing the ride was very badly damaged. And I'm going to try and get some good video here. As you can see, the ride is basically being deconstructed. A lot of the theming is being removed. That's sad. It looks as if this ride is basically history. We assume that something new will be coming in here, but whether it'll be a dark ride or something else, we still don't have any information on that. The park has not made a statement with regards to what's happening. But as you can see here, the ride is in pretty bad shape. That's the trough area there. And back over in this area here, some of the boats are still there, but a lot of the theming has been removed from the ride, and the name has been removed from the ride. And what we're hearing on Screamscape is that the ride itself is pretty much gone, or is going to be gone. They're going to get rid of this entire thing, and what we don't know is if they're going to put something else here, or if they are going to put something else in here, whether that will be a dark ride or some other type of ride. We have no information yet. It's all just speculation. But it looks like Yosemite Sam is going to be a thing of the, Yosemite Sam and the Gold River Adventure is basically going to be a thing of the past. And that is pretty sad. It was a fun ride. And we're now making our way towards Chop 6, which is one of the newest restaurants we have here in Six Flags Over Texas. It was previously Panda Express, but following last year's flood, Panda Express was moved out, and the building was taken over by Chop 6, which is the Six Flags-owned equivalent of Panda Express. Other parks have already gotten theirs, and we finally got one here this year. I've eaten at this Chop 6 one time before, and it was actually quite good. And the good thing about Chop 6 is that it's on the dining pass. So we'll walk up here and get in line and take a peek at what's on the menu. Nice shaded dining area there. And that's a good look at the menu there. That's not a bad menu, especially if you have the dining pass. There's quite a bit you can get on the dining pass. And I can tell you, I've eaten here one time before, and it was actually pretty good. Probably better than I was expecting. And this is my orange chicken and sweet fire chicken here at Chop 6 at Six Flags Over Texas. Looks like a pretty good helping there. I got this with my dining pass. It's the main course. And it looks pretty good. Not too bad. As we can see here, this is actually a very nicely shaded dining area, which I like. There's actually air conditioning in here, which feels great. And So if you're looking to cool off on a hot day, this is one way to do it. Use your dining pass here at Chop 6. And yeah, I'm going to dig right in. There it is, Chop 6. I just had my meal at Chop 6 and it was actually delicious. It was much better than I was expecting. I've heard some good things about Chop 6, but I've also heard some bad things. And I'm pleased to say that it's on, it is very good food and it's actually on the dining pass. So if you are a member or if you have the dining pass, I highly recommend trying out Chop 6. That is the oil derrick there, the freshly painted oil derrick. As you can see, it's got a bright orange coat of paint and bright white paint on the rails up there. It is looking really good since they repainted it. There's a beautiful tower. There's an iconic tower here at Six Flags Over Texas. I'm going to start walking in this direction. And we're going to be walking past the old stunt show theater over here. They now use it for haunted houses during Fright Fest and also for storage. But it used to be the home of the Batman stunt show. And just past that, you can also see two other attractions here. One is Superman's Tower of Power, which is an S&S-built thrill shot ride. That is a lot of fun. It's 300 feet tall. It's a lot of fun. And then right over there, you can see the Dive Bomber Alley, which is the giant swing. And as we make our way through here, we can see that we have a very large crowd today on this Easter holiday weekend, which was to be expected. That is the funnel cake place right there. Those are on the dining pass also. And over here we see some dining tables, which I think is a nice touch. They didn't used to have those tables over there, but now they do, and that's a nice touch. And it looks as if Roaring Rapids is open and has a nice long line, as you might expect on a day like today. And as we make our way on down this direction, I'm going to show you the area where they were originally going to put El Diablo. But because of concerns with the floodwaters, they decided not to put it in this location. They moved it over there to the Spain section. And if you look over here, you're going to see this barge ride here, which is a common attraction at most parks. Most parks have one of these sitting around somewhere, especially the smaller parks, because they are a kiddie attract, more or less a kiddie attraction, good for the entire family. But this was going to be removed and sent to, I believe, Frontier City, and they were going to put El Diablo in this location. But due to concerns with floodwaters from what happened last year, they have decided not to do that. This is still here, and apparently the park is going to go ahead and keep this ride and not send it to Frontier City. And of course El Diablo has been relocated over to Spain. But anyway, that is the location where the El Diablo would have been, and it would have been called Lone Star Revolution. That was the name they were going to give it, but when they moved it to Spain, they knew they couldn't call it that. They had to change the name to fit in with the theming over there. So they came up with El Diablo, which is a good name. I like that better actually than Lone Star Revolution. And yep, nice crowded day here at Six Flags. And now we are getting a closer look at Superman Tower of Power, which is out here in an area with a little man-made lake area, a little man-made pond area, I would say. It's not that big. But it's, as you can see, it stretches on down that direction there, and it's a very nice scenic area here. And that is Superman Tower of Power, which is over 300 feet tall and is one of the tallest of these types of rides that you can, or that has ever been put in any theme park. It's very tall. And it's actually a lot of fun. But the lines on days like today can be very long, and so I would highly advise getting a flash pass if you can afford one before coming out on a day like today. It's very crowded. All the rides have long lines, but we do have some good here at Six Flags Over Texas, we do have some very good attractions, though. Superman Tower of Power. And we are going to head off in this direction. And that is what is called Dive Bomber Alley. It's the giant swing ride here at Six Flags Over Texas. That's an upcharge ride. Right there. And I'm walking right underneath it here, basically. And there is the signage, Dive Bomber Alley. And we see some folks already getting ready to take a ride on that. I've ridden it a couple of times. It's just a lot of fun. And we are now entering the Boomtown section here. And you can look there and we can see one of the world's tallest skyscrapers at 400 feet tall. Well, actually, it's a little over 400 feet tall, I'm told. All the way up there to the top of the flag on the top of it. That is a very tall tower ride. It's one of the tallest in the world at the moment. It's about the second or third tallest in the world, and it is quite tall, over 400 feet. And over here we see the queue house to Runaway Mine Train, which I don't think it's running right now. There's nobody in line for it, so it must be down for maintenance. Some fresh paint on some of the buildings, which is good to see. And we have some live music. That's always nice to have. All right. And we are headed into a area here now. One thing I should mention, the train ride, the Boomtown Depot up here is one of the two depots for the train ride. The other is over in the Texas section. But we have been told by reliable sources, including the train engineer himself, who runs these trains, that the train will not operate this entire season. And that is because of a quote-unquote project that is being done in the park that is going to interfere with train operations. My guess would be that operation, or that project, has to do with whatever's going on with Aquaman Splashdown, which runs immediately or sits immediately adjacent to the train tracks. And there we see that Boomtown Depot and the train ride are not operational, and are not expected to be operational for the entire season because of this new project that I believe involves Aquaman Splashdown and its removal and subsequent replacement with some type of a new attraction. But there it is. And we look over here and we can see Pandemonium, a very common ride that is now in most all of the Six Flags theme parks. Not to mention shopping malls. And we're heading into the Gotham City section now. And in the Gotham City section, we will find quite a few flat rides. The park has upgraded its flat ride collection here recently. It is quite crowded, as you can see. And there is a closer look at Skyscreamer. And that is Johnny Rockets off in the distance. They have some nice shaded tables to sit at outside. But inside you have air conditioning, so if you can get a seat inside, that's what I would do. If we look off here to the left, we're going to see Batman the Ride. Batman the Ride sits right over there. There are lots of gaming booths over here as well. That small kid ride there is called Batwing. And we can also see that Mr. Freeze and Batman the Ride sit side by side over in that area. And this is a very interestingly themed section of the park.
That looks cool. We're all three gonna sit.
And we're going to move forward here, heading toward Riddler Revenge, which is busy loading, I think. Another group of riders. There it goes. And over here to the left, we see Catwoman Whip, which is a Zamperla Endeavor ride. It's got 48 seats. It's got a higher capacity. And that is a fun ride. And here we have more live music.
Part of what we do in the summer. Here comes Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
And we see the Riddler Revenge ride, which is a Zamperla Giant Discovery. It's a swinging pendulum ride. Put in about 3 years ago. It is now starting up. They replaced the motor in this ride, and I'm told that the motors of these rides have a tendency to burn out, so they have to replace them every so often. And there we see Catwoman Whip. And if we move forward, we're going to come across the Joker. The Joker is an SNS 4D free spin ride. The theming on it is excellent. It has the purple and the green supports and the purple and green track. You have the purple side and the green side. The green side is more intense. The purple side is a little bit less intense. But it is a lot of fun. A fine addition to the park out here, Six Flags Over Texas. Now this is under some maintenance over here. This is we see the entire area is cordoned off with benches, but that is Harley Quinn's Spinsanity over there, and that is undergoing some maintenance. I'm not sure. I have not heard anything about this ride. Apparently it's not been operational for some time, and they're doing some maintenance. Hopefully they'll have it back up later this season or later in the spring. But yeah, that's undergoing maintenance at the moment. And we have the Riddler Revenge ride swinging pretty high. And we also see in the background the Texas Skyscreamer going up, all 400 feet. There it goes all the way up to the top. That is a very tall ride. And we see Catwoman Whip there, and they are unloading passengers. That is a very fun ride. It's a spinning ride, so it may not be good to ride it right after you've eaten it. It does pull some G's. Alrighty, we're heading towards Aquaman Splashdown here. And Justice League Battle for Metropolis ride also. And we can see right next to it over here is Pandemonium. And all parks have these Pandemonium rides. This is a Gerstlauer, I believe, spinning coaster. And pretty much, well, not all Six Flags parks, but most of them do have these kind of rides. And we're going to mosey in the direction of Aquaman Splashdown. What used to be, I should say, Aquaman Splashdown. It is, from what we understand, it is being removed from the park. And here to the right, we can see the Justice League Battle for Metropolis ride, which is a fun dark ride. And over here we can see what remains of Aquaman Splashdown. Again, the Aquaman statue has been removed, and other parts of the ride are being removed as well. The major deconstruction has not started yet, but that's probably going to begin here. I'm not sure if it'll begin major deconstruction during the season. I suspect it will, because if they're going to put something in here for next season, then they would have to begin removing this ride as soon as possible in order to start building the new ride, which may take some time. So, but anyway, that is what is left of Aquaman Splashdown, a derelict, now defunct, former Shoot the Chutes ride here at Six Flags Over Texas. The ride originally opened in 1987. It's about 32 years old, and it is on its way out. And the Churro Sundae Supreme, which is something you can get on the dining pass. You pay $1 extra, but it is so worth it. It is easily the best snack they have here at Six Flags Over Texas that you can get with the dining pass. So if you get a chance to eat one of these, go right ahead. Well, you can see it there. It's just it's an amazing snack. And ice cream and churros. Well, you can't beat that. And we are now saying goodbye to Six Flags Over Texas for another day. I've enjoyed myself using my dining pass and getting free food. And the new Chopsticks is certainly well worth it. We are headed back through the Mexican section here on our way towards the front entrance. El Sombrero, that's the oldest flat ride in the park. I'm going to take a shortcut through the El Mercado de la Plaza here, which is a little store here in the front. And in here we will see lots of merchandise. Cool sunglasses over here, cool shades over here, some t-shirts, some hoodies, some hats, nice souvenirs and capes, lots of souvenirs. And we have emerged into the entry plaza of Six Flags Over Texas, the thrill capital of Texas. And that Flash Pass line is still pretty long. As I make my way out the exit and back to the parking lot, I will say goodbye for now. But, stay tuned.